in it. So that's what happened with that.
So that was probably around. I'm guessing. I'm looking at it because you left there. What about 2001, 2002?
Just when Angel and I got together.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. So let's talk about that. How exactly? For those who don't know, Latif is married to Angel, formerly of the CoverGirls, or I don't even know. I can't even understand what's going on. I mean,
Angel's the original CoverGirl, the lead singer of the CoverGirls.
right, right. But I'm saying, I mean, I see pictures of her back together with the original two, but then I know you got this other thing going on. We're going to talk about in a second with the whole phony thing, but. I mean, I'm not exactly, sure. I mean, I know she's booked as Angel, the original CoverGirl, but I don't know if it's okay to say formerly of the CoverGirls, or because I don't know if the actual original group is back together doing shows, because I've seen that listed from you before, and so I don't really know what's going on. But besides all that, how did you get hooked up with Angel?
I started out as her agent.
Okay.
Yeah. So. She decided she didn't want to get involved with a background dancer. That's what a lot of these female acts do. They wind up marrying their background dancers. And she had a point there. She goes, "Well, that doesn't make any sense because if I'm not working anymore, neither are you."
Right.
so she said she's gonna get together with an agent. At that point, I was pretty busy. I was booking everyone and. Every artist out there was calling me, and I was still trying to keep a loyalty to Sal Batello. He had started the CoverGirls, and he had his access. So, and I'm just like that. Even though I had numbers, if people dealt with him, I would call him and say, "Hey, man, I got this show, and we'll split the money." And it was fine, and that's just the way I roll. And what happened was her and I, we little by little, man, it just started with the phone calls and a lot of talking. I was going through a real bad time. My mom was actually dying.
Uh-huh.
So it was a crazy. I had that happening, and also at the same time, I just had my daughter,
right,
a baby girl, and so I had all these different emotions happening at once. So it was a crazy time, and eventually Sal Batello, he had a little bit of an issue with her and I getting together. He basically tried to belittle me to her and her to me. He kind of sensed. That this could become a problem for him if her and I got together, So he did everything in his power to try to keep us apart, But that didn't happen. It didn't work. That's a whole totally different story. And I wound up stepping in, and I gave him his walking papers. Actually, it wasn't like that. It wasn't as cold as that because I did offer a deal with him because she just wasn't being taken care of at all. I mean, beyond... I've never seen an artist be treated the way she was being treated, and I had proof and evidence, and he just didn't want me dabbling in that, and at that time, her and I was already an item, and we never told anybody, so we kept it like that, and that was basically 2002, and we were together from there about maybe 5 years, and then we got married 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So we became, legally married 5 years ago. So
she made
that's how her and I got together.
She made an honest woman of you.
Yes. Yeah, my arm was hurting, man.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. So I'm gonna breeze through a bunch of questions real quick because I mean we're getting a lot of insight here. With the whole being in a relationship with Angel, any reservations of mixing business with pleasure?
You know what, man? It was just. You've been around Angel and I.
Yep.
You know how we operate. And business is business and pleasure is pleasure. We're always together. People are really amazed when they see us all these years. We fight like some couples, but our relationship is really tight. We have a lot of things in common. I mean, she backs me up. I back her up. She's a big, cheerleader for me. I'm a big cheerleader for her. She does for me what I do for her. I mean, it's just it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a great relationship, and I'm blessed to have it. With business, she trusts me, and that was very important. To this day, if she wants to go right, and I think left is the best way of going for business. Mm-hmm. Always in personal. Sometimes I gotta listen to her, but on the business tip, she listens to me, and it usually works out. So. We have no problems, and it's great, and it's difficult. I don't know if too many people can do what we do. You know?
No, I hear you. So now, as far as the booking agency goes, how many acts do you currently represent?
My regulars about 40 acts.
40 acts.
Yeah, my regulars. I do pull in, you know, others, so it could be as high as probably 60 or 70 acts, because I have these one-offs that come and go.
Who would you say are like the top 5 of the current roster?
Top 5 will, you know, of course, have to be my girls. They take priority. Starting with SAL, which is Susie, Angel, Lizette, Melendez, and then Susie and Angel on their own. Probably George Lamont. Trying to think who else. Oh, Rob Bass. I do a lot of Rob Bass. Mm-hmm. And now I'm doing a lot of Noel. So, and those things rotate. The girls always stay there. I'm doing Skee Lo now, so I'm pushing him. So these are, I usually have 10 that about 10 when I'm pitching over the phone. That's who those usually pop up. Shannon, I do a lot of Shannon. And I have those that, you know, they come and they're calling me all the time. So they're fresh in my mind. So as the phone rings and promoters call me, I'm pitching them. And it's just a natural thing. I pitch them because I just spoke to them today or yesterday. And then if I don't hear from them in a while, and all of a sudden I'm constantly talking to, you know, whoever, Stevie,
right.
You know, your boy.
So then all of a sudden, don't worry. We're gonna talk.
He's in my head.
Right.
I naturally start pitching these Stevie shows. You know what I mean?
Right.
So and that's how. I need to throw that in, bro.
That's all right, man. It's all right, man. You know, whatever.
But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much how I do when it comes to the bookings.
It's funny that you brought up Skee Lo because I just ran into him a couple months ago when I was in LA and we were hanging out for a little while.
Yeah, I never met him in person. His manager called me, and then he called me, and they got me, man, they like pulled me out of a hat. I don't know. And, you know, I mean, I like good people, man. And when I have a vibe with people, you know, I really want to get behind them. You know, I just like good people.
Right.
And he seems to have that. You know, I've never met him in person. I am looking forward to meeting him in person, man. They started all of a sudden, they threw my logo up on their site, and they got a recommendation from somebody to call me. I forgot who it was. But yeah, you know, and I like the classic hip hop stuff. So I do the Sugar Hill Gang. I do a lot of Sugar Hill Gang. Always the originals. You know, I always deal with the originals.
Right.
And then the Planet Patrols and the Freestyle Evolution or Freestyle, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
I like those guys. Those are the people I grew up with, you know?
Okay, man. So of all the people that you deal with, who's the most difficult and who's the most easiest?
Who's the most difficult? Who's the most difficult? And who's the most easiest?
Come on, man. Don't be a politician, man. Come on, man. Keep it real now.
No. I could keep it real. You know what it is? I have a system. I have a way of doing things.
Right.
And I don't chase any act for anything, and they know this. So I have a thing with my promoters and my artists. My promoters don't screw my artists don't screw my promoters. I'll make sure my promoters do what they need to do for the artists, but the artists know that they have a job to do. Mm-hmm. And that's all it is. I might have issues with management maybe. I've had past issues with I can't even, you know, it's really, I'm going to tell you honestly, man, I really don't have any serious issues with any of the artists, you know. Johnny O and his wife did send a couple, you know, they fluctuate with their prices, and that throws me off. Mm-hmm. Because they'll call me one day and they want $2,500, next day they want $6,500. Right. And then I'm pitching $6,500, and my promoters think I'm trying to rob them because somebody else just got them for $2,500. So those are the only issues I have with artists. And he's not the only one. There's others that do that. And that's where I have a problem. That's the only time I have a problem is when they don't stay consistent with their numbers, because then it looks like I'm a high-priced agent. And then nobody wants to book. And they're like, well, if he's giving us, Johnny for $6,500, then, man, I wonder how much they're going to give us Stevie for, you know, or, you know, Susie must be overpriced, you know. So right away they think everybody's overpriced.
Right.